The golden age of human space exploration ended not with a whimper, but with an explosion that lit up the Martian sky. The destruction of Outpost Titan, humanity's first permanent Mars settlement, marked the moment Earth realized it wasn't alone, and its neighbors weren't friendly. Dr. Maya Rodriguez stood in Mission Control Houston, her coffee forgotten as she watched the feed from Mars go dark. The last transmission from Outpost Titan had been routine. Unidentified object approaching from Saturn's direction. Metallic composition, estimated size comparable to a small asteroid. Trajectory suggests controlled movement. Then nothing but static. The next 72 hours transformed human civilization. As governments scrambled to make sense of the Mars incident, more objects appeared, materializing near every major population center on Earth. They hung in the sky like obsidian teardrops, their surfaces drinking in light rather than reflecting it. The visitors, as media dubbed them, made no attempt at communication for 3 days. When they finally spoke, it was through every electronic device simultaneously. "We are the Nexus," the message began, transmitted in perfect English and every other human language. "We come as guardians and guides to shepherd humanity into a greater cosmic community." Their timing seemed perfect. Humanity had just begun reaching for the stars, and here were advanced beings offering to help. Maya didn't trust it. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, she had spent her career theorizing about alien life. Nothing about the Nexus felt right. Their ships designed to fight physics as humans understood it, yet they claimed to be only a few hundred years ahead of Earth technologically. Their chosen representatives were too perfect, too human-like in their mannerisms. It was as if they had been crafted from humanity's own dreams of first contact. While world leaders negotiated technology exchanges and cultural integration programs, Maya led a secret research team. They analyzed every scrap of data about the visitors, every interaction, every gift of technology. The pattern emerged slowly but unmistakably. Each piece of Nexus technology installed on Earth created subtle changes in the surrounding environment, changes that went unreported in official observations. The truth hit Maya during a routine analysis of atmospheric samples from cities with Nexus installations. The air contained microscopic machines, nanites that weren't just observing humanity, but actively altering human biology. The Nexus weren't shepherds, they were farmers preparing their crop. Her warnings reached sympathetic ears in Earth's military and scientific communities. General Sarah Chen of the Pan-Asian Defense Coalition had already been stockpiling weapons and maintaining forces off the grid, away from Nexus observation. Dr. James Okoro of the African Space Initiative had kept a secret fleet of ships hidden in the asteroid belt, built using purely human technology. But before Earth could act on Maya's discovery, the Nexus struck. Their attack began subtly. Key military and scientific personnel simply disappeared. Then came the systematic dismantling of Earth's defense capabilities. Nexus ships positioned themselves above major military installations worldwide, their presence alone enough to prevent resistance. The harvest would have begun the next day. The Nexus had cultivated countless civilizations this way, appear as saviors, modify the population through hidden means, then collect the altered beings for their true purpose, biological components in the vast living computers that powered Nexus society. They didn't expect humanity's response. As Nexus ships moved into position, emergency broadcasts reached every corner of the globe. "This is Dr. Maya Rodriguez. The Nexus are not our friends. Their nanites are in our air, in our water, in our bodies. But they made one crucial mistake. They based their modifications on a fundamental misunderstanding of human biology. The nanites were designed to make humans more compliant, more integrated with Nexus technology. Instead, they had triggered an unprecedented mutation in human neural pathways. Humanity was changing, but not in the way the Nexus had planned. The first sign of this backfire came from a small military base in Siberia. A young soldier, exposed to high concentrations of nanites, discovered she could interface with and control Nexus technology through thought alone. Similar reports flooded in from around the globe. The nanites meant to enslave humanity had instead awakened something dormant in human DNA, something that made humans more dangerous than the Nexus could have imagined. As Maya's message reached its conclusion, the true battle for Earth began. The Nexus launched their harvest chips, expecting to find a docile population ready for processing. Instead, they found humanity armed with their own weapons, their own technology turned against them by minds they couldn't control. The war for Earth would be unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Humanity, the supposed prey, was about to teach their would-be hunters a lesson about underestimating the deadliest species in the known universe. The first week of the war redefined everything humanity thought they knew about combat. Traditional military doctrine crumbled in the face of an enemy that could manipulate gravity and bend space. But humans had something the Nexus never anticipated: desperation-fueled innovation, and a newly awakened ability that defied their calculations. Dr. Maya Rodriguez worked tirelessly in a converted underground facility in the Andes, studying the bizarre evolutionary leap the Nexus nanites had triggered. The facility, dubbed Haven, had become humanity's primary research center, shielded from Nexus detection by the dense mountain rock and experimental quantum camouflage. "Show me again," Maya instructed the young woman before her. Private Sarah Chen, no relation to the general, had been among the first to manifest the new abilities. The soldier closed her eyes, extending her hand toward a piece of salvaged Nexus technology, a simple communication device. The air shimmered with an almost imperceptible blue haze, and the device activated, projecting a holographic display that responded to her thoughts. "The neural interface is getting stronger," Sarah reported, her voice tight with concentration. "I can feel their networks now, like threads of light connecting their ships." She paused, her brow furrowing. "They're scared, Dr. Rodriguez. They've never encountered anything like us before." Maya's team had discovered that the Nexus nanites, designed to create docile biological processors, had instead activated dormant neural pathways in human brains. These pathways allowed humans to interface directly with technology, any technology, at a quantum level. The Nexus had inadvertently armed their prey with the perfect weapon against their own systems. Meanwhile, in orbit, the battle for Earth's space took an unexpected turn. Commander Weizong of the Chinese Space Force led a desperate mission to recapture a seized space station. His squad, all enhanced by the nanite mutation, approached in outdated shuttles that the Nexus barely considered a threat. As they neared the station, Wei gave the signal. 20 human minds reached out simultaneously, seizing control of the station's gravitational systems. The Nexus crew found themselves in a suddenly hostile environment, where gravity shifted and rolled like ocean waves. The tactic spread quickly. Across the globe, humans learned to weaponize their new abilities in ways the Nexus never imagined possible. In Tokyo, a group of teenage hackers turned an entire Nexus landing zone into a trap, using their enhanced neural capabilities to create feedback loops in the aliens' own defense systems. In Lagos, market traders discovered they could sense approaching Nexus ships before any technology could detect them, creating an early warning network that saved thousands of lives. But the greatest breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. James Okoro, working with Maya's team at Haven, discovered that human consciousness, augmented by the nanites, could do more than just interface with technology. It could reshape it at a fundamental level. "The nanites aren't just changing us," he explained during an emergency council meeting. "We're changing them. Every time we use these abilities, we're evolving the very tools they meant to use against us." He projected a microscopic image showing the nanites in human bloodstreams. They were different now, transformed by constant interaction with human neural patterns into something entirely new. The Nexus noticed. Their harvest chips began to withdraw from Earth's atmosphere, but not in retreat. They were regrouping, adapting their strategy. The initial wave had failed, but the Nexus had conquered thousands of worlds before Earth. They would not be deterred by one unexpected development. General Chen, coordinating humanity's military response from a mobile command center in the Gobi Desert, received reports of massive energy signatures approaching from the outer solar system. They're calling in reinforcements, she announced to the Global Defense Council. But this time, we'll be ready. The general's confidence wasn't mere bravado. While the Nexus gathered their forces, humanity had been busy. The neural interface abilities were growing stronger with each passing day. More importantly, humans were learning to work together in ways they never had before. The shared threat and shared evolution had broken down old barriers of nationality and ideology. In Haven, Maya reviewed the latest data from field reports worldwide. The nanite-enhanced abilities were manifesting differently in different populations, creating a diversity of capabilities that made human resistance unpredictable and adaptable. Some humans could detect and counter Nexus energy weapons. Others could instinctively understand and repurpose alien technology. A few could even sense the quantum communications that linked Nexus ships. They thought they were creating perfect biological processors, Maya noted in her research log. Instead, they created perfect warriors against their own technology. Human consciousness, augmented but not controlled, has proven more powerful than any artificial system they've developed over millennia. As the reinforcement ships approached Earth, humanity prepared for the next phase of the war. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were fighting to show the galaxy why humans had survived every catastrophe their planet had thrown at them. The Nexus thought they had chosen an easy target. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Himalayas had always made humans feel small, but never more so than now. Dr. Maya Rodriguez stood at the entrance of Haven's new command center, carved deep into the mountain range, watching holographic displays track Nexus fleet movements. 3 months into the war, and humanity had done more than survive. They had learned to fight back. The reinforcement fleet the Nexus had summoned hung in high orbit like a sword of Damocles, but they hadn't attacked. Instead, they maintained their position, analyzing, waiting. Their hesitation gave humanity precious time to prepare, and they used every second of it. The quantum network is online, announced Dr. James Okoro, his dark eyes reflecting the blue glow of the holoprojectors. The network was humanity's greatest achievement since the war began, a system that linked enhanced human minds across the globe, allowing instantaneous sharing of information and coordinated action against Nexus forces. The network had revealed something extraordinary. The Nexus weren't just a technologically advanced species, they were a hive mind. Each individual connected to a vast artificial intelligence that coordinated their entire civilization. This discovery came from Sarah Chen, whose ability to sense Nexus communications had grown exponentially. Their unity is their weakness, Sarah explained during a strategy session. They think and act as one, which makes them incredibly efficient, but also predictable. They can't understand why we don't do the same. She smiled, a predatory expression that would have been out of place on her face before the war. They don't understand that human chaos is our strength. That chaos was about to be unleashed. General Chen's voice crackled through the quantum network, reaching every enhanced human simultaneously. Operation Prometheus is go. All units, execute your objectives. Around the globe, humanity's counter-offensive began. In orbit, Commander Weizong led a fleet of hybrid vessels, human ships augmented with reversed-engineered Nexus technology. But the ships themselves weren't the true weapon. Each carried a crew of enhanced humans, their combined neural power turning the vessels into extensions of human will. The Nexus fleet responded exactly as predicted, shifting into their standard combat formation. They had fought thousands of battles this way, their hive mind calculating the optimal response to any conventional attack. But humanity wasn't fighting conventionally. As the Nexus ships moved to engage, they found their tactical network flooded with conflicting commands. Hundreds of enhanced humans were attacking their communication systems simultaneously, each using different methods, creating chaos in a system designed for perfect order. On the ground, The second phase of Operation Prometheus began. Teams of enhanced humans targeted Nexus ground installations worldwide. In New York, a group of former Wall Street traders used their pattern recognition skills and neural enhancements to crack Nexus encryption protocols. In Mumbai, street children whose enhanced minds could navigate the quantum realm like a playground slipped through Nexus defenses as if they weren't there. Maya monitored it all from Haven, coordinating with Dr. Okoro to analyze the Nexus response. "They're trying to adapt," she noted, watching the patterns of alien communication shift and change. "But they can't match our rate of evolution." The nanites in human bodies had continued to change, shaped by human consciousness and determination. Each person's abilities developed differently, creating an ever-changing arsenal that the Nexus couldn't predict or counter. Where they expected uniformity, they found infinite variation. But the true turning point came halfway through the battle. Sarah Chen, linked deep into the quantum network, sensed something new in the Nexus communications. Fear, not just of defeat, but of what humanity was becoming. The Nexus had encountered resistance before, but never anything like this. Never a species that could take their own weapons and transform them into something new. The battle raged for 3 days. When it ended, humanity had destroyed a third of the Nexus fleet and reclaimed most of Earth's major cities. More importantly, they had proven something to themselves and their enemy. Humans weren't just fighting to survive. They were fighting to win. In Haven's command center, Maya reviewed the after-action reports with a growing sense of awe. The casualty reports were far lower than expected, thanks to the quantum network's coordination. More importantly, they had captured intact Nexus ships and technology, providing invaluable data for humanity's next steps. "We've only seen the beginning of what we can become," she told the assembled leaders. The Nexus thought they could harvest us, control us, make us part of their system. Instead, they forced us to evolve beyond anything they imagined possible. As she spoke, new reports arrived from observatories worldwide. The remaining Nexus ships were retreating, falling back to the outer solar system. But Maya and everyone else knew this wasn't over. The Nexus wouldn't accept defeat easily. They would return with greater numbers, new tactics, desperate to contain the threat humanity had become. "Let them come," General Chen declared, her voice carrying through the quantum network to every enhanced human on Earth. "We'll be ready. And this time, we're taking the fight to them." The war for Earth had become a war for the future of human evolution itself, and humanity was just beginning to understand what they could become. 6 months after Operation Prometheus, humanity had pushed beyond Earth's orbit. The captured Nexus vessels, combined with humanity's enhanced abilities, had opened up the solar system. But it was what they found there that changed everything. Maya stood on the observation deck of the HSS Prometheus, Earth's first purpose-built neural-enhanced starship, watching Mars grow larger in the viewscreen. The red planet, once the site of humanity's greatest tragedy, was about to become their first major off-world base. "Signal from the surface," Sarah Chen announced, her consciousness merged with the ship's communications array. "You're going to want to see this, Dr. Rodriguez." The holographic display sparked to life, showing a vast underground complex beneath Mars' surface. It was a Nexus facility, but unlike anything they'd encountered before. "It's some kind of monitoring station," Dr. Okoro reported, his enhanced mind already sifting through the facility's data streams. "They've been watching us for centuries." But the facility held more than just surveillance data. Deep in its quantum memory banks, they found proof that Earth wasn't the Nexus' first target in the solar system. Long before humans had developed spaceflight, another civilization had inhabited Mars. The Nexus had harvested them completely, leaving no trace for humans to find. The discovery spread through the quantum network, igniting fury and determination across human consciousness. The Nexus hadn't just attacked Earth, they had systematically stripped entire solar systems of life, feeding their ever-growing hive mind with harvested consciousness. Commander Weizhong, leading the exploration of the outer solar system, made another crucial discovery near Saturn. "We've found their staging area," his message pulsed through the quantum network. "And we're not alone out here." Wei's fleet had encountered another species, the Arcturians, crystalline beings who had been fighting their own guerrilla war against the Nexus for millennia. Their ambassador, a shifting matrix of light and crystal, transmitted a message that stunned the human leadership. "We have watched your resistance with great interest," the Arcturian communicated. "No species has ever turned the Nexus' own technology against them so effectively. No species has ever forced them to retreat." The Arcturians shared their knowledge of the galaxy's political landscape. The Nexus weren't just hunters. They were jailers, maintaining order through fear and technological superiority. But their grip was weakening. Other species had noticed Earth's resistance, and whispers of rebellion were spreading. Maya brought this information back to Haven's council. "We're not just fighting for Earth anymore," she explained. "We have a chance to break the Nexus' hold on the entire galaxy. But we need to move fast, before they can consolidate their forces." The quantum network hummed with activity as humanity debated their next move. The enhanced humans could sense the shift in the galactic winds. Earth, once isolated and primitive in the Nexus' eyes, was becoming a beacon of resistance. General Chen proposed a daring strategy. "We split our forces," she announced. "Half remain to defend Earth. The other half takes the fight to Nexus space. We show them and everyone else that humanity isn't just defending. We're liberating." The plan was audacious, perhaps suicidal by conventional military standards. But humans had long since moved beyond conventional warfare. The neural enhancements had continued to evolve, creating new capabilities that even the Arcturians found astounding. Some humans could now navigate quantum space instinctively, making faster-than-light travel possible without massive technological infrastructure. Others had developed the ability to communicate directly with alien consciousness, breaking down barriers that had separated species for eons. The first strike against a Nexus core world demonstrated humanity's new tactics. Instead of a direct assault, enhanced human operators infiltrated the planet's quantum networks, introducing chaos into the carefully ordered Nexus systems. As their hive mind struggled to adapt, liberation forces composed of humans and Arcturians struck at key facilities. The Nexus responded with overwhelming force, but found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to exist everywhere and nowhere. Human guerrilla tactics, enhanced by their neural capabilities and supported by growing numbers of alien allies, turned the hierarchical structure of Nexus society against itself. Maya, watching the battle unfold through the quantum network, realized humanity had achieved something unprecedented. They hadn't just survived the Nexus attempt to harvest them. They had become something entirely new. The neural enhancements had unlocked potential that had lain dormant in human DNA for millennia, creating a species that could adapt and evolve in real time. "They wanted to make us part of their network," she noted in her research logs. "Instead, we're becoming the key to breaking it apart." As news of human victories spread across the galaxy, more species began to revolt against Nexus control. The hunters had become the hunted, their perfectly ordered society crumbling in the face of human chaos and determination. The war was far from over, but the balance of power had shifted irreversibly. Humanity had emerged from Earth's cradle into a galaxy that feared them, not for their weapons or technology, but for their indomitable spirit and infinite capacity for adaptation. The universe was about to learn why humans had survived every catastrophe their harsh planet had thrown at them. The Nexus homeworld hung in space like a perfect sphere of liquid metal, its surface alive with quantum energy. From the bridge of the HSS Prometheus, Maya watched the culmination of humanity's journey unfold. 1 year had passed since Earth first learned they weren't alone in the universe. Now they stood at the heart of their enemy's empire, ready to end the war that had transformed human civilization. The quantum network buzzed with activity, millions of enhanced human minds linked across light years of space. They weren't alone anymore. Representatives from 24 alien species had joined the final assault, their consciousness interweaving with the human network in ways that would have been impossible months ago. The Nexus core is responding, Sarah Chen reported. Her consciousness expanded through the ship's sensors. The enemy fleet was massive, tens of thousands of ships arranged in perfect geometric patterns. But humanity had seen this before, and they knew exactly how to break it. Commander Wei Zheng's voice resonated through the network. All units, execute Operation Singularity. The combined fleet of human, Arcturian, and allied vessels moved in seemingly random patterns, each ship guided by the unpredictable creativity of its enhanced crew. The Nexus hive mind struggled to calculate responses to tactics that defied its logical frameworks. Dr. Okoro, working from a quantum lab deep within the Prometheus, had discovered the Nexus' fatal flaw. Their hive mind, for all its processing power, couldn't handle true chaos. It sought patterns, order, predictability. Human consciousness, especially enhanced by the evolved nanites, was anything but predictable. The battle for the Nexus homeworld became a war of minds as much as machines. Enhanced humans dove into the quantum realm, disrupting the very foundations of Nexus society. The hive mind fought back, attempting to overwhelm human consciousness with raw processing power. But where the Nexus thought as one, humanity thought as many, each mind finding unique solutions to unique problems. They're adapting, Maya observed, watching the Nexus ships attempt to mimic human unpredictability. But they don't understand what they're copying. The Nexus could simulate chaos, but they couldn't embrace it like humans did. Every attempt to match human tactics only made their underlying patterns more obvious to the enhanced human minds. The turning point came when Sarah, pushing her abilities to their limit, made contact with the harvested consciousness trapped within the Nexus systems. Billions of minds from thousands of species, stored as living processors in the vast networks of the hive mind. With humanity's help, they began to wake up. The Nexus homeworld erupted in quantum fire as its carefully ordered systems collapsed. The harvested minds, led by the last survivors of Mars' ancient civilization, tore through their digital prisons. The hive mind, for the first time in its existence, experienced true chaos from within. Now, General Chen commanded through the quantum network. The combined fleet struck at the heart of Nexus power, their weapons guided by the liberated minds who knew the enemy's weaknesses intimately. The perfect sphere of the Nexus homeworld cracked like an egg, revealing the vast computational arrays hidden beneath its surface. Maya watched in awe as the final battle played out. The Nexus, their hive mind fragmented and their slaves revolting, faced something they had never prepared for: defeat. Their remaining ships fought on, driven by programming that couldn't conceive of surrender, until the last one fell silent. In the aftermath, as the dust of empire settled, the galaxy looked very different. The liberated species began the long process of rebuilding, guided by their experiences within the hive mind, but free to chart their own courses. The Arcturians proposed a new form of galactic cooperation, one based on diversity rather than uniformity. Humanity emerged from the war changed but unbroken. The neural enhancements had become a permanent part of human evolution, but they hadn't suppressed what made humans unique. If anything, they had amplified the very traits that had helped humanity survive: adaptability, creativity, and an unshakable determination to overcome any obstacle. We thought we were alone in the universe. Maya addressed the first Congress of Free Species, held in the ruins of the Nexus capital. Then we thought we were prey. Now we know the truth. We are all connected, not by force or technology, but by choice and understanding. The quantum network, once a tool of war, became the foundation of a new galactic civilization. But unlike the Nexus hive mind, it preserved and celebrated the chaos of individual consciousness. Humans, with their unique ability to bridge the gap between order and chaos, became the mediators of this new age. As Maya stood in the ruins of the empire that had tried to harvest humanity, she reflected on how far they had come. The Nexus had wanted to make humans part of their perfect, ordered universe. Instead, Humans had shown the galaxy a better way, a path where diversity bred strength and chaos and order danced in eternal balance. The universe would never be the same. Humanity had not just survived, they had transformed galactic civilization itself. And somewhere in the quantum networks that spanned the stars, enhanced human minds dreamed of new frontiers, new challenges, new ways to prove that the most dangerous species in the universe was also its greatest hope for the future.